Hello there everybody, and a very, very good evening, good morning or good afternoon wherever you're watching from today. It's very good to have you here on another Taurex live trading session here on the 28th of January. It is Tuesday and we are live again across YouTube and in our Discord channel as well. I do apologise, I've still got the same setup, but we are working on that in the background very soon, and we'll have some amazing new content coming out. But I still wanted to go live and update you all on my current trades and current outlook on what I'm expecting at the moment. But of course, if anyone does have any questions throughout the stream at any time, then feel free to pop them in the chat section. You can pop that on Discord, or you can pop it on the chat section on YouTube, and I'll make sure I answer those questions for you. So we're going to do a rundown of what's just a quick rundown of what's going on in the markets, and I haven't really necessarily got any more trades lined up just yet. It's actually more difficult than you think, trading just off of this, what I've got with everything going on. But I have got an update on one of the trades we had, and I wanted to update you on gold. So now a couple of people have asked me in the background if I am still in it. I actually don't know how long it's been now since I placed that trade. I'll have a look on the trading journal that I've got and give you an update on that as well. But either way, it's great to see everybody, and thank you very much for tuning in. So we done the week ahead analysis yesterday, and I mentioned that today wasn't necessarily, it's probably the only day this week where I thought we may get a little bit of a lull in the markets, a period of lower volatility. I think from tomorrow it's going to kick off. So, you know, save your energy for tomorrow, Thursday, if you are looking to trade and you're not sure what the best times are to trade this week. I'd highly recommend that you wait for Fed tomorrow, Bank of Canada tomorrow. We've got ECB coming. We've got massive big tech earnings coming out as well. So keep an eye on our social channels, and we will be updating you with all the updates and stuff that's going on, but mainly in our Discord channel. Okay, so let's have a quick rundown on what we're expecting for today's session, or what we've expected. It's late in the evening for me, but I know some people are still, US sessions really just getting underway. And yeah, there wasn't anything that we need to worry about too much in terms of the planned events. However, I wanted to point you in the direction of, if you're wondering why certain things are moving today, it's because of this. So I've known this news for a while, but if you're just waking up and you know, you're probably not knowing this news just yet, and it was basically, we're gonna have to get used to this. It's comments that Trump has made, of course, and it's around tariffs. Okay, so we've had a little bit of a slow start to the year in the Forex space. I personally haven't traded a single Forex pair, and it's now the 28th of January. And that's quite rare for me, because I do trade the dollar quite frequently. But I'm just wondering whether we're going to start to get some dollar opportunities, because Trump's now in charge and he's coming out with more and more stuff. Whether the markets believe him or not is up to you, but he will not mince his words in some of the things he says. So we actually need to be on the ball here for things that he might come out and say, which aren't necessarily things that are planned in the economic calendar, but he just comes out on a speech and says something. And this is one of those times. It's to do with tariffs. So if you're unsure of basically what he said that he wants to impose across the board tariffs that are much bigger than the current 2.5%. And when he's talking about across the board tariffs, he's talking about globally. He's not talking about targeting a specific country like China, for example. He's talking about tariffs across the board. So this is the latest in a string of signals that he's preparing, which will reshape US supply chains and will have an impact on the markets. That's what we're looking at, right? We don't need to get into the politics of it all, but we need to understand that this will have an impact, in particular on the US dollar. And I don't like to overcomplicate things when I talk about fundamentals, because you can go into all the details that you like about what sort of tariffs, who's going to be targeted more, etc. And the great thing about fundamental analysis is you can go as much detail as you want, you know, or you can keep it really basic level, and you can say, look, typically speaking, what tariffs will do is increase the value of the US dollar. Higher tariffs, higher dollar. That's all you need to remember. Lower tariffs, lower dollar. So the fact that Trump's come out and said he wants to raise global tariffs above the 2.5% average rate at the moment, that suggests dollar strength. When you look at the markets, you see that, you know, not a great deal is happening in crypto, not a great deal is happening in the stock market after the recent slump, right? Not a great deal at all. Obviously, we had the massive move yesterday because of the DeepSeek stuff, and Nvidia lost a record amount of money off their share price. And then we wake up today, and now the markets are moving in a different way. They're moving the different asset classes. So we need to understand what those events are coming up and what's being said. Now, with what I've just said, you would expect that the value of the US dollar would be up on that. And as you can see, when I click on the dollar index, like this, you can see that we are up, 0.6%, 0.5% on the day. And when I look across the board, we're down quite heavy against the euro, we're down against the pound, we're up quite big on the Japanese yen. So the main winners today would have been that anyone who was trading the US dollar. So yesterday, I put some analysis in about potentially looking for some euro dollar upside. And I have to say, I wasn't that confident in the trade. And I said yesterday that I'm not sure if I'm going to place this trade. And actually what you may have noticed is we've sold off today. And we have tagged into the area that I initially had as support, which was around this 1.04, where this basically trade is. Now, I want to give you an update on that. And it's just my opinion is that I don't think it's wise to be selling the buying euro dollar or selling the US dollar at this current moment. If Trump didn't come out and say that, then yeah. But the fact he has said that, and it was, I personally think that's what he's going to do. And I think that what we'll be doing is, if we're trying to sell the US dollar, we're really going against the fundamentals and we're going against the trend. I would actually rather wait for potentially a selling opportunity where we get a break down below. Let me zoom in on that. And this might not necessarily be the case for euro dollar, but we might get something that looks, like this. And I'm thinking of going, right, here's this blue area is an order block, right? So we can get a breakdown below this trend line. I'm not a big fan of trend lines, but a breakdown below it, a retest of that order block, and then actually try and play the next leg down. Because although we have made some sort of inroads to a move higher here, I wouldn't say it's anything clear cut. So I think we're coming up to a really big test here on euro dollar, and I'm going to post this one in the Discord channel. So let me screen grab that just to show you actually what I'm thinking. So yeah, I've sort of changed my mind from yesterday, but as traders, it is important that we do adapt, and we stick. I might have been right in the first place, but I can only go with what my opinion is, and that is my opinion. It's a difficult one for oil as well, because you can see how, in very typical fashion, we actually come and grab the liquidity from this area. This is actually a bit of a bullish sign on crude oil, but isn't anything that actionable that I want to look at just yet. Now, the only trade that we did have, or I personally had, which is now closed, is this S&P 500. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share my trading journal, because I always am fully transparent on the trades that I place. And I've made sure this year I'm going to make myself very accountable for what I trade. So let me just quickly go on to the trading. There it is. Let me close that down. There we go. So I've updated all because for some reason yesterday the formulas weren't really working, and I needed to brush it up. So I have done that. So I just wanted to give you an update on the S&P 500 trade, which I closed out, a couple of days ago, and lucky we did as well, because that's why I had my take profit where it was. So when I'm analysing what I've done as a trader, I always say, have I followed the rules? Have I felt emotional on the trade? And you can see on my notes here at the top, these are the things that I tend to struggle with, is that, not always following the rules, not always being patient, not understanding that once you place a trade, anything can happen, and trying to remove that emotion away from winning as well. So, I made a decent amount on the S&P 500, and it's updated my current profit and loss for January for 3%. So we're looking at, as long as nothing changes from now until the end of the week, we're looking at a first solid start to the year. Only placed, actually there's 3 trades, because there's one currently open, which I'll talk about. So 3 trades. There's no chance that I can't lose. There's no chance that I can lose on the current trade that's open, because I've already closed half and moved my stop loss to entry. It's just not reflected in the journal yet. So really good start to the year, and 100% win rate, which is rare. Okay, it is rare, but it's the facts. That's what I've placed, and I've showed every single time that I've placed it, right? Okay, so that's the update I wanted to give you. In terms of the current trade opportunities that I have live, Okay, let me just quickly load up the platform again. I'm sorry, I'm only on one screen, so I do apologize. Here we go. Right, so the current opportunity that's live still, and I've had a few questions in the background, was, Con, are we still in gold? Are we still in gold? Yes, I am still in gold. Yes, it's frustrating that we got that close to our take profit area. And you could probably argue, well, why didn't you just close it out? And to be honest, I don't necessarily disagree with that. It probably wasn't even worth holding. I probably should have just closed it out, but I didn't. And then when we got when we got the sell-off here, I held on to the trade. And the current analysis that I've got on this is that when you look at this move that we had from where we entered, move up, there was my entry from the FVG, nice support. I pretty much drew exactly what has happened. And I still think we're going to be going higher here on gold. I'm still confident in my trade that we can get up towards and take out these all-time highs. Why am I confident in that? Well, I find it strange that gold made a move up towards 2790 but didn't take the liquidity out on that all-time high and sold off before we reached it. So I actually think personally that we may see a move up to 2790, and that's really the trade that I'm looking at. So when we look at potential re-entries, and I haven't re-entered this time, but you can see that if I look at this wick down here, if you look what happened, this is a good sign for me because, I'm sorry, I'll zoom right in on that. This was the most recent market structure low, yeah, that you can see that one, that wick there is our most recent market structure low from when we had this move. Now when we come down, you can actually see that we failed to close below that low. We actually wicked into it and now are starting to move higher. So I actually think that, anyone who's scalping gold today could look for something that looks like that. I don't need to do that because I'm already in a trade and I'm more of a position trader than I am a scalper. I've tried scalping before, and it requires you to be active on the charts all the time, and it's not something that I'm necessarily comfortable with. So let me just check. Yeah, okay, cool. So that trade, to answer the question that I had, is that I'm still very much in it. Tomorrow we've got lots of volatility coming. We've got the Fed, we've got big tech earnings, we've got the Bank of Canada, and there will be some more opportunities coming. Now, I do like the idea of that euro dollar downside. So that's the trade that I've got sort of like a, should we call it a red alert on, in terms of what I'm looking for. I don't know if there's any other markets anyone wants me to cover today. You can put it in the chat room and I'll analyze that market for you. I was just looking at dollar yen as well, which just had a Fibonacci drawn, and I was looking for, look at that bounce from 154 right on that 50%. That's quite a bullish bounce. But is there anything on the sort of moving average front that I've got? No, nothing really. It's been a difficult trade. Yeah, this would be really solid. This is why I like euro dollar as well, because what I've got here is the EMA 12 and the EMA 36. They're just moving averages, right? They just tell me when the blue line is above the orange line, we're bullish, and when the blue line's below the orange line, we're bearish. It's simple as that. And for those who watch my streams all the time will know I use the trend rider as a strategy. And I probably haven't given it enough time over recent. I've just been very busy setting everything up here that I've not had quite the time to do specific content on it. But you can see how that blue line is coming and potentially seeing a crossover. And that crossover looks like it would marry up with a breakdown below the trend line and a breakdown below this bullish order block here. So let's look for a quick retest and then look for that move lower for a really nice euro dollar trade. Of course, it's difficult to predict too much what's going to happen when we've got such big high impact news coming tomorrow in the form of the Fed and the Bank of Canada and the big tech earnings. So just be careful placing too many trades before those events, especially directly before. Let's wait to see what's said, and I will always on my streams break down the language that's said, and obviously the decision itself, but also the language in the press conferences, which people don't really pay attention to. They just look at the decision. What I'm worried about is people will just look at the Fed, who may hold rates tomorrow, and then just go, well, that means the dollar's going to go higher. Not necessarily. Let's hear what they say in the actual conference itself. I'll break that down tomorrow. Okay, fantastic. Right, I'm going to leave it there. So I'll post that euro dollar analysis in the Discord channel. The link to that Discord channel is in the description of this video. So please feel free to join that if you wish. Yeah, and you'll get free analysis, free tools. You can chat to me all day. You can chat with the community that we're just starting to build here as well. So yeah, please join it. It's completely free. There is no strings attached. It literally is free. So come and join and let's build this community together. Okay. Right, thank you very much for those who have watched or watching on catch up. Take care, trade well, and tomorrow we've got a big day. Thank you very much.